Shalom lekulam. Welcome to Kabbalah Academy. Today we're diving in the third part of the series, Crown Jewel Keys to Awe, right? Awe, Yirah. That is fear, reverence, and admiration of the divine code, as the Holy One, blessed be He, garbed himself in letters at HaOr. Veyada Hashem, right? The letters at HaOr, to say the letters are the containers for densities of light, which are the building blocks of creation. And Veyada Hashem, you shall have knowledge of Hashem through Aleph Tav, the letters. Okay, so we did one on Shin, fire, light. That was the first episode. Now Shin, Aleph, Mem, right? We did the second part on air, and air, which was a great medium for many substances, right? Likewise, water or liquids, because there's various liquids, of course. We're gonna dive a little bit into H2O, because the majority of liquids have the medium of H2O to transport it. We give it names such as blood, but really blood is mainly H2O, having red blood cells, white blood cells, plasma into it, and plasma is mainly built up out of H2O. There's also liquids such as mercury, which have no H2O to it, and that's why the mem sulfate, which is really solids and matter and earth, you'll see that I'll make a separate video for the mem sulfate, but you'll see that they will enter each other's videos, so to say, because they have, of course, many similarities, right? So first of all, about the mem water liquids, it's often referred to as the womb, right? The water within the womb, and we can immediately see that, which is probably an interesting example, is because to each, as I already explained, to each mother letter, these are the elements, yet they are called the mother letters because through them all other letters were birthed. Now each mother letter has 3 elemental letters connected to it, and they're called elemental letters because they are connected to one of the elements. So in this case, Nun, Waf, Kuf are connected to the mem, water. And that's interesting because Nuk, these are the first 3 letters of the Nukva, right? The Nukva. The Nukva, often related to the Shekhinah, but Malchus, right? Malchus, because water always flows downwards. So that's a good example to show you. And if we take Nun, Vav, Kuf, this is a 50, this is a 6, and this is 100. So it makes a total of 156, which is the value of missing a Vav, Yosef. And that's precise because if we have Zerampin, Chesed Gevura Tiferes, Netzach Hoit Yesoid, the 6th, Yisod, is where the reproductive organ is, in the tree of the body, and where the mouth is, in the tree of the face. So where do we find water? We take in water through the mouth, and we already see it here. That's why the Fe is immediately connected to the Mem, because it takes in liquids and solids, drinks and food, right? And this Fe's 80 is also Yisod, but we find it here also, because Yosef already hints us at Yisod, and Nuk can be rearranged to Kan, nest of Vav, Zerampin, 6. The nest of 6. So this being the womb also, right? So not only the mouth, because waters are also found in the reproductive organ as well as in the womb, right? Womb. So that's why, and the mem, many words start with mem, like mother, mummy, you know, it's found in womb. So many examples are there to be found. You can also read Likutei Yirah 9, written by Yirah HaAri, okay, and it teaches the Lashon HaKodesh. It's the only sefer that does so, because it was not available until several years ago, but it is now. And that's what he presents us, the crown jewel. Study it. So that's what we're doing here, showing you that everything's packed with information, nothing is random, and everything is connected. So the nest of 6 being Yisod, right? So let us proceed. What else is interesting? So that Nukva, that's clear because water always runs down here. Malchut is earth. So if you have like a mountain, then the water descends and it comes down to the Malchut, into the sea, through the rivers, in the sea, up again into the heavenlies, and it descends. It always descends to the sea, to the waters, the rivers, over the mountains. So Nuk, Va, connected to water, very clear. Another example which Yirah often uses is, of course, mem, womb, baby, because the bait for a baby, or belly, in the belly, right? Air and water are found both there. The baby is situated in that very location. So all connected to Yisod, reproduction organ. So mum can be with an O, some say it's with a U, depends on where your British is from, right? Your English, mommy, mom. So this immediately is the mother, the womb, right? The waters in which Zerampin, again, the 6 or bindings, because the Vav means to bind. So where in the waters of the womb is bound in a certain matter is bound into solids, which is the baby, and that's what a mom does. The mother in her womb, within the waters, binds solids, and out comes from 2 mems, which is a base, is a baby, okay? Okay. And then she feeds it with 2 breasts and so on and so forth. But that's for another video. We're doing the mem today. So we're diving into H2O also greatly. Now another interesting thing in the light of pregnancy is, of course, the value of mem is 40, and 40 is the amount of weeks approximately for a full pregnancy, okay? Very great connection there, the pregnancy. Water housing air, right? Think of bubble, that's why bubble starts with a B, right? And water in the mouth, milk. Milk is a fluid, a liquid substance, so milk can go into the mouth, and mouth itself starts with mem, and it opens up and takes in liquids and solids. Even though the mouth here starts with a fe, because in Hebrew it's fe, but in our languages, mond, Dutch, mouth, right? So that's all greatly connected there. So, and that's a bit how you can study and look into the crown jewel, see what the values are. Likutei Yirah 9 teaches you clearly which letters are used for our letters within these Western languages that we're used to, right? Because also modern day Hebrew is not Lashon HaKodesh, even though they have the letters. But these letters have values, and we can simply take the F or the P and see that it has the values of the Vey, right? So, and so on and so forth. So that's what we're training here, that's what we're doing here, that's what I'm showing. And as we go, you'll see the glory of the Holy One, blessed be He, and that's what it's for, right? To glorify His name. So, establish His kingdom here in Asia. Okay, so let us proceed. I forgot one thing, because Mom is also the value of 86, Elohim, which is Ima, Bina, the mother, and this means in Hebrew deficient. And Ima, created without Abba. There is a deficiency in creation. So we'll come across that later. So I needed to mention that here quickly. So what we're doing now is we'll write down the word water. Okay, I'll do it in English like this. Water. Okay, this is H2O. And don't stare yourself blind at the literal matter, because we're even going beyond Kabbalah, but even because Kabbalah is still on the technical, philosophical level, but what we're doing now is really Torah of Atzil. This is really God's science, right? This is undeniable truth. That's why we're looking into things. But on a Kabbalistic level, when we speak of waters, liquids, that can be semen, that can be oil, it's all about Shefa, flow. So it depicts the flow of liquid flow, whether that's dew, and dew being tal, and tal valuing 39 times 10 has the value of oil, and which is the seed. So this seems contradictory, but it's not, because it depicts a system of bestowal, ascending, descending. It is a really metaphorical language for higher concepts, right? So what we're now doing, we're now looking at matter, at how this displays into reality in certain matters. Water, that will be a vav, many bindings, because a vav, it has the V, tip of the nail, directing, O, top of the nail, U, a binding, and W, many bindings. Water, H, O, H, times numerous. So it is many bindings, okay, sticking together. So that's correct. It's many bindings, W, Aleph. What did I have it with, the Tav or the Tet? No, I had the Tav, yes. Ayin, Reish. Okay. So what do we see here? Very interesting stuff, because the Ayin, again, if we take it to the level of the womb, Ayin is 70. And 70 were Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hoid, Yesod, and Malchut. The Nukva, the daughter, and Ben, the son, within the womb, right? So, of Ima. Now, if we look at the Vav is a 6, the Aleph is a 1, that's a 400, and the Reish is 200, right? Then we get 200 plus 400, 607. 1, 2, 3, 4 letters. 607 plus 4 is 611, which is the value of Torah, right? Torah. Waters, living waters of Torah, right? You've probably heard of that. So that's greatly connected there. And then you see the Vav again, It's connected to the water. Mem. There's many more, but we have so much to cover, so I won't go into all the gematria. We're really focusing also on the crown jewel here, and the statistics of water. We'll go through them in a little bit. Very interesting stuff there. So, of course, here again, we have the Vav, which is connected to water, right? Now, Mayim. Let us write down water in Hebrew. Mayim. Right? Mem, Yud, Mem, Sofit. So, water, spirit, solid. Okay? Water, spirit, solids. Like I said, Mayim, water is also the agent for many things, right? To flow. So, the values here are interesting. This is 90. 90 is 40 plus 10 plus 40 is 90, and 90, the ninth day, hints at Abba, and Me Yud, from Yud, and the Yud is Abba, that's the Rosh. So there's many information packed in there, but once again, we're not gonna hang in these things for now. What I do want to show you is the Mem, the spelling out, Yud, Mem, Mem, Yud, Mem, giving us a value of 80 plus 20 plus 80 is 180, which is 10 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times 18, and 18 is Chai, living waters, right? Because man is a tree, a man is a tree, right? This is a construct, full tree, and a tree that has life. So 10 times 18, okay, that's found in there. And the ordinal value also, because this will be needed later in our data. This is 26. Yud K Vav K, value of Yud K Vav K. This is still 20, and this is 26, making 52, 72, and 72 is Av. So there is the signature of Abba, Chochmah, because Bina is the externality, she is the vessel that contains that light of Yud, right? Whether that's expressed in Shefa of water, right? And she created with that light without the cooperation of Chochmah, Abba, Yud itself, yet with that light contained inside of her. So that's where the deficiency lies, but that's for whole other videos. I have many of them. So let us proceed. Yes, that covers everything really well. In a Katan also, its minor values are 4, 4, and 1 is 9, is the ninth day upwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Abba, Chochmah. Yud, Hey, Vav, and Hey, right? Okay. So I did a video on the Mem. You can find it on my channel. And this is the triangular expansion of the Miluim. So if you do a Milui, you get Mem Mem, right? If you do another Milui, you get 4 times Mem. Mem, Mem, so on and so forth. Yet each staircase of 1 pairs of Mems extra gives us an exact amount of 72 Mems, right? And 72, which is Abba, which is Av, right? The 72 name, includes then that full structure of Abba Ve'ima creating instead of Ima alone. So that's why we also see that 72 times 40 is 2088, which is a 288, which is the word Ibur, pregnancy, the pregnancy. So everything leads to pregnancy, okay? So it's also HaChochma veHabina 156, which again was Yosef through the center column, times 6, the 6th day, which is in Zerampin, the gathering point, and the reproductive organ was 936, which is 13 echad times 72. So there's many things found. Also, what I just said, the 40 weeks times 7 days is 280 days. Pregnancy from Ima Bina, which is the 8th day, 280 plus 8 is also 288, which is the Ibur. So pregnancy, water, greatly connected here, okay? But then before we go into the H2O scientific facts, I want to show one more thing, because if we would write womb, so the womb in English, womb, sorry, that is a vav, a mem, and a base, okay? And then you can see something interesting going on, because now I'll bring it back to the crown jewel. So the vav, the mem, and the base, all connected to the element of water, okay? Liquids. So this full word. Later videos will look at the, in the Mem Sofit we'll look at the womb in Hebrew, to split things a little bit up, because the womb also binds, as we just went through, binds in two solids, which is the Mem Sofit. Aleph separates Mem from Shin. So what else can we see here? What is this Aleph, and what is the separation, and what are the values? Like Shin is 300, Mem is 40. So the separation, the difference between Shin and Mem is 260. 300 minus 40 is 260, and 260 is the tenfold of 26, and 26 is Yud Vav Yud, which is an Aleph. Yud Vav Yud. Aleph is 1, but it's also known, if we take a closer look at it, to have the value of 26 when we count it in this way, and that's the value of Yud Ke Vav Ke. So Yud Ke Vav Ke separates Mem from Shin, Chesedim and Gevuros. That's what it's also telling us, right? There's many great secrets here. Now there's two Mems, because there's a Mem Sofit also. So we can also look at the totality here being 80. So what if we now subtract 80 from 300? We get 220. And 220 is the tenfold of 22, which is Aleph Tav. Because by the words of his mouth he created the heavens and the earth. And we just saw mouth, Fei, waters of Torah. We just went through a calculation that showed us that the word water itself holds the value of Torah. Torah for the 70 nations, for the forms. These 6 are hate, these 7 are an abomination. The Torah is there to give us waters, right? Living waters. So that's all included here. There's so much in there, in this crown jewel. Let us go into the H2O. 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 Should be a small 2. Okay. And it looks like this. That's one H2O. And it's a very interesting matter. Tells us a lot of things because the molar mass, the molecular mass density is 18. And we just had it, waters, living waters, right? We'll go to the source in Jeremiah in a little bit, but 18 is chai, right? 18 is already chai. Water gives life, okay? So, and don't forget that Chesed is situated right underneath Abba in the right column, right? We'll make a tree here. I think we'll need it. So, here's your Chesed, water, right? So that's situated underneath Abba. So that's the molecular mass. And 18, we found that in the spelling out 180 of Mem Mem Yud Vav Dalet Mem Mem. We just read it. It also had the ordinal value of 72, which was exactly 72, right? Into Chesed, water. Okay, let us continue. So now the bond angle. The bond angle, so the calculation of the angle of the substance, because its bent shape adds to its polarity, having no fixed shape, right? Which makes it liquid. And it takes the form of the vessel that it contains, right? So if you have a solid, we are like made of water, but we have so much substance that we are considered to be solid, right? So if you lay in a bucket, a big bathtub, you won't fill it completely because you have somewhat of a solid structure. But water does not do the same. Water, liquids, they adapt to any shape, right? So you have a container there and you throw water in it, it levels and it completely fills the whole thing. So that's because of its no fixed shape liquids and taking the form of the vessel that contains it. And you'll find that in the value, namely of its bond angle, which is 105, approximately 105, 104.5 something. Okay, that's 105, and 105 is kelim, the vessels. Okay, so it's the angle measurement has the value of the vessels. Okay, so that's what it tells us. It tells me. I see that connection. So the H, this is a gas variable. So we'll put 2 olives there, right? Strange thing is that water is made up of 2 gases that form 1 liquid. This is a gas also, namely the O, right? These are 2 different forms of gases, yet together they form a liquid. So that itself is phenomenal, if you ask me. H is 5, 2 is 2, and O is a Vav, is 6, which makes a total of 5 plus 2 is 7 plus 6 is 13. And 13 is Echad. Echad. Echad, 1. Water. There's a unity in water, right? So 2 gases forming 1 liquid. There's other ways to show you the 13, but that would be using precious time in which we can share other things and keep your attention span way up. So we have a value of 13. We had a value of 18. We had a value of 105. We'll keep that inside. So now the next thing is interesting. Its freezing point. Its freezing point at Kelvin is 273. And 273 is, and I'll write backwards to save some space, is a couple of things. Oh yeah. Kafu. Kafu means frozen. And Elohim. Elohim is situated here. considered Gevura. And when Gevura, and seems like a contradiction, but things cross, right? The upper is a mirror of the lower. So Gevura, when Gevura is onto water, that's when it becomes ice or boiling hot. Either way, ice is hard, it's judgment, it is Gevurish. So Elohim plus frozen values exactly the 273 freezing point Kelvin. It's also Gevura plus Chaban. Chaban means to be hard. Hey, Beit, Nun. Yes, that's it. Hey, Beit, Nun. Same value. Now, because we did the freezing point, we're looking at the boiling point. And the boiling point is exactly 100 Kelvin more, as we have 100 degrees for boiling. 373 is the boiling point, which is the value of Chesed plus Eish, fire. That's water and fire. Chesed, values 8 plus 60 makes 68, plus 4 is 72, plus 3, all 1 is 373. Okay, so your boiling point Kelvin equals water and fire. And what does water do when you put fire on it? It will start boiling at 373. Okay, so temperature of density. Now the temperature of density is 3.98, which is approximately 4, and 4 was the Katan value of Mem. Katan, okay? So that's the Katan value of Mem, so it's density. Now triple point pressure, and that's interesting. So triple point pressure, here goes. And here we go. Now because triple point, 3 states, equilibrium of 3 states, right? Coming into one substance. You have frozen, you have liquid, and you have vapor, air, right? Because air houses water also. So there's 3 different states of this Mem, right? And that's why we find 2 values, very important values here. 611 is Torah. Torah. Hashem makes no jokes. This is, and even if he makes jokes, he makes the best jokes, which make so much sense, but always fully to a T, reality. Ma, what can I witness to you? What can I liken to you? Reality, ma, which is also always through the center column. So, okay, the next value, so this is Torah. 657 is namely the value of L'chaim with a Mem Sofit, and the Mem Sofit value 600, sorry. The Kaf Sofit is the next, is 400, Mem Sofit is 600, 620, 650, 658, so it's an inkolel, but this is L'chaim Torah. So, living Torah, and that's precisely, and we can find the exact same letters in Jeremiah 2 verse 13. So Yirmiyahu 2 verse 13. For my people has committed 2 evils, they have forsaken me, the source of living waters, to dig for themselves cisterns, broken cisterns that cannot hold the water. Here we go. Makor, Mayim, Chaim. Makor being the source of living waters. You can check it. Mayim, Chaim. See? Chaim. So, of life, Torah of life, right? L'chaim. Makor Maim Chayim, the source of living waters, values 504, which in Kollel is 505, which is Keli Mishka, which are the drinking vessels, those that can obtain, right? If you drink it, it means you take it to you, right? Eat his bread, drink his water, Maim Chaim, living waters. So those that have the vessels that can drink it, right? If we add the hay to that, Ha-Makor, the source of living waters, we get 509, 510 respectively in Kollel, which is the value of Yashar, which is Yisrael, Yashar El, straight to Hashem, center column, Mishpacha, center column, right? Source of living waters. And that was really what I was hinting at with the three states, right? The equilibrium of three states of one substance, right? Yet there is only one. The rest is all an illusion. So, crown jewel, it's all packed in here. Presented to us by Yirah HaAri, 432, the faithful shepherd, Harai Mehemna. So I hope that was helpful. Do your homework, study Likutei Yirah, memorize this crown jewel, start looking into marine, all these words, and baby, bubble, bath, birth, right? Womb, like I said. You can start searching for words yourself. Each and every letter is explained to a T in Likutei Yirah 9, available on bookbaby.com and Amazon.com. If you can't afford a physical copy, we can provide you of one. And please sign up for SKOOL school.com/Yirah World Peace. May we end division, may we end hatred. See it in yourself, see it in others, see it in animals, see it in your environment. The signature of the Holy One, blessed be He. It's all around you. This is the way, this is the way, this is how we can bring about world peace. Show objective reality. It's all there. You cannot deny these facts. These are facts, right? You do not need faith or belief for such matters. Okay. Shalom. Blessings.